Your child unlocking a phone before tying shoes does not mean you are failing. That glowing rectangle is quietly shaping their attention, sleep, and how they connect with you, whether you notice or not. Most advice says to just take the device away, but that backfires and pushes them to hide their digital lives. By the end of this, you will have an invisible safety net on their device that protects them without starting a single argument. Let us talk about that exact moment you decide to actually do something about it. You are sitting on the couch, watching them scroll, and their eyes look completely glazed over. You ask them a question, and they just grunt without looking up. In that moment, a lot of guilt washes over you. You wonder if you waited too long or if you gave in too easily. But I need you to drop that guilt right now, because beating yourself up does not help your child. What helps is taking calm, deliberate action. And taking action does not mean yelling, and it does not mean snatching the phone out of their hands. It means building a framework. Think of it like teaching them to ride a bike. You do not just push them down a steep hill and hope for the best, and you do not keep the training wheels on until they are 18. You put the helmet on, you hold the seat, and you create a safe environment for them to practice. Creating a dedicated parental control system on their device is exactly like putting on that helmet. It is the foundational layer of protection that allows them to explore the digital world while you keep a watchful, loving eye on things from the sidelines. The very first step in this process happens entirely on your own phone, before your child even knows what is coming. You need to download the parent version of the Control app and create your master account. Picture this as building your command center. You want to do this when the kids are asleep or at school, so you have quiet time to read through the prompts and configure things properly. When you create the account, use an email address that your child does not have access to and create a strong, unique password. This is crucial. If your tech-savvy 10-year-old figures out your password, the entire system falls apart in about 5 minutes. Keep this master password in a secure place, maybe a password manager, and do not write it on a sticky note attached to your monitor. As you go through the initial registration, the app will ask you to verify your email and build your basic profile. Take your time here. Read the brief tutorials they provide. Most parents rush through this foundation phase, but taking an extra 10 minutes now to understand how the dashboard works will save you hours of frustration later when you are trying to change a setting in a hurry. But there was one real problem I saw when I first helped friends build this out. They would create the parent account and then immediately hand the child's phone back without any context. That creates instant resistance. So, once your parent account is fully active and you are looking at an empty dashboard waiting to be connected, it is time for step 2. You are going to install the companion app on your child's device. Now, depending on whether they use an Android or an iOS device, the installation process looks a little different, but the app will guide you through the exact prompts. On Android, you will download the child app from the Play Store, and on iOS, you will use the specific configuration link provided in your parent dashboard. You will be asked to grant certain permissions, like device administration or accessibility access. I know seeing those warnings can feel a little intimidating, but these permissions are simply what allow the app to actually enforce the rules you are about to set. Without them, the app is just a suggestion, and teenagers are incredibly good at ignoring suggestions. Once installed, you will pair the two devices together, usually by scanning a quick code on their screen with your phone. Most parents never notice this, but the way you introduce this app in the first 5 minutes dictates whether they fight you on it for the next 5 years. Do not sneak it onto their phone while they are sleeping. That breaks trust, and if they find out, and they usually do, you will spend months rebuilding that bridge. Instead, sit down with them at the kitchen table. Look them in the eye and say something like, "My job is to keep you safe and help your brain grow until you are old enough to manage all of this on your own. This app is just a tool I am using to help us both. It is not a punishment, and it is not because I do not trust you. It is because the internet is designed by thousands of engineers to keep you hooked, and I need a little help leveling the playing field." Say it calmly. Say it with love. Then, hand them the phone and let them watch you pair the devices. When they see you doing it transparently, it removes the fear of the unknown. Now that the devices are linked, you get to turn on the actual features, and this is where the magic happens. The first feature you should enable is screen time management and scheduling. This is about reclaiming the rhythm of your home. In your parent dashboard, you will see options to build daily schedules. I highly recommend starting with a bedtime routine. Set the screen to lock at a specific time on school nights, say 8:30 and maybe 9:30 on weekends. When that time hits, the child's phone simply goes to sleep. It does not shut off completely. They can still make emergency calls, but the apps, the games, and the social media just stop working. Imagine what this does for your evening routine. Instead of standing at the top of the stairs yelling at them to hand over the phone for the 5th time, the phone just quietly goes to sleep. The battle is removed. You are no longer the bad guy. The schedule is just the schedule. You can also build a morning schedule, so the phone does not unlock until they are actually dressed and have eaten breakfast. It sounds simple, but establishing these digital boundaries completely transforms the atmosphere in your house. If you want calmer, more confident parenting in a screen-filled world, sticking around is probably the simplest way to stay one step ahead of what your kids are facing, so consider subscribing to keep these practical ideas coming your way. The second feature you need to dive into is app management and usage monitoring. This is where you move beyond just looking at the clock and start looking at what they're actually doing with their time. In the App Manager section of your dashboard, you will see a list of everything installed on their device. You have 2 powerful choices here. You can block apps entirely, or you can set specific time limits for individual apps. Let us say your child is spending 3 hours a day on a specific gaming app. Instead of banning the game, which usually just causes a massive meltdown, you set a daily limit of 45 minutes. When they hit 45 minutes, the app locks. They can still use their calculator, their music, or their reading apps, but the game is done. This teaches them how to prioritize and manage their digital diet. Furthermore, you can use the usage insights to see exactly where their time is going. You might think they are using their phone to chat with friends, but the data might show they are actually just watching short, looping videos for 2 hours straight. That data is incredibly valuable. It gives you a factual, non-emotional starting point for a conversation. You can sit down and say, "I noticed you spent 14 hours on short videos this week. How does your body feel after doing that?" It shifts the conversation from "you are on your phone too much" to "let us look at how this is actually affecting you." If you are constantly fighting about which apps they can use or how to handle the inevitable pushback when you limit a new game, I put together a free sample chapter of my Parenting in the Digital Age Guide. It breaks down exactly how to navigate those tough conversations without the yelling and gives you the exact scripts to use. You can grab that free chapter linked right below in the description. The third feature, and perhaps the one that brings the most immediate peace of mind to parents, is location tracking and safe zones. We have spent a lot of time talking about digital safety, but physical safety is just as critical, especially as they get a little older and start walking to school or going to a friend's house. In your dashboard, you will find the location settings. You can view their real-time location on a map, but the real power is in creating geofences or safe zones. You can draw a virtual circle around your house, their school, and maybe a grandparent's home or a close friend's house. When their phone crosses the boundary of one of these zones, you get a quiet, push notification on your own phone. You do not have to constantly stare at a map. You just go about your day, and when you get the little ping that says they arrived at school, you can exhale. Think about the panic that sets in when your 12-year-old is 15 minutes late walking home from the bus stop. Your mind goes to 100 dark places. But with this feature, you just pull out your phone, check the map, and see they are just hanging out at the park 2 blocks away looking at a dog. The anxiety instantly vanishes. Again, the key here is transparency. Tell them you have this feature turned on. Remind them that it is not about controlling their every move. It is about knowing they are safe in a world that can be unpredictable. Now, I want to pause here and talk about something that most guides completely skip over. Activating these features is only day 1. The real work and the real parenting happens on day 30, day 90, and day 300. A static set of rules does not work for a dynamic, growing child. As they get older, as they demonstrate responsibility, you need to be willing to adjust the boundaries. If they have respected the 8:30 bedtime for 3 months without trying to bypass it, maybe it is time to sit down and negotiate moving it to 9 o'clock. Make them earn the expansion of their digital freedom. This teaches them that trust is a two-way street and that privileges are tied to responsible behavior. If you just lock the settings and never look at them again, the app becomes a prison, and they will eventually find a way to break out of it. But if you use the app as a training wheel, gradually loosening your grip as they show they can balance on their own, it becomes a tool for maturity. And this one small shift changes everything. When you stop viewing parental controls as a way to police your child and start viewing them as a way to partner with them, the entire dynamic in your home shifts. You stop being the warden and you become the guide. You stop looking at their screen time with frustration and you start looking at it with curiosity. You start asking better questions. You start connecting on a deeper level. The technology is just the vehicle. The relationship is the destination. The app will handle the heavy lifting of enforcing the rules, which frees up your emotional energy to actually enjoy your kid. You can sit down and play a board game with them or go for a walk without that underlying hum of anxiety about what they are doing on their phone when you are not looking. It is incredibly hard to raise kids in this digital age. The algorithms are smarter than our willpower, and the distractions are louder than they have ever been in human history. But you are not powerless. By taking the time to build a system like this, you are drawing a line in the sand. You are declaring that your family's time, your family's sleep, and your family's connection are more important than a notification bell. You are giving your child the greatest gift you can possibly give them in the modern world, which is the ability to look up from the screen and actually see the beautiful, messy, real world right in front of them. What is the one screen time rule that actually works in your home? Or which of these features do you think your family needs the most right now? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I love learning what is working for other families. You have got this. Take a deep breath and go build that command center.